Hi, everyone. Our subject today is secularism and Islam. Okay, now lots of people mix between secularism and atheism, actually, to the point of calling one or the other to mean the same thing. But this confusion did not come out of the blue, for the West especially. And after the eras of the church ruling over the lives of people, singling it out with power and favoring kings in the name of religion. It made Western societies feel sensitive to the issue of the interference of religion in the ecclesiastical concept in politics, which prompted its thinkers and theorists to reject the inclusion of religion in political philosophy completely because for them, religion corresponds to the power of coercion, the limitation of personal freedom, and the deprivation of man of his natural rights. So they called for secularism not only as the separation of religion from political power, but also by calling for interest in the current life, instead the afterlife, to later conclude to leave individuals their religion or religious freedom as long as it doesn't affect the freedom of others. Although they inherited Islam is no less controlling the people next than the church was. But reading the wise revelation according to the knowledge ground today, you find that Islam does not contradict at all with the foundations of civil society and with the natural right of man to freedom, chiefly freedom of belief. And Islam did not give anyone the right to rule in the name of God on earth. Religion is submission and obedience. And the main characteristic of any religion is its interference in the personal life of a person. So it is picked voluntarily by this person without coercion, protected by the authority of conscience only, which means it's a free choice. Give you an example, like if you believe in God because you want to, and you're not obliged to it, and you follow God's instructions, which you desire, and you have a personal conviction of it. Now, as the verse number 156 in Surah 2 says, there is no compulsion in religion. So you feel free, you want to come in, go ahead. If not, that's okay. It's okay. Therefore, freedom is the most trustworthy bond, and upon it, the succession of man has been established on this earth, which is the responsibility we carry. We're free to choose and move between obedience and disobedience, flexibility. And be responsible for our choices here on earth and hereafter. The greater the field of freedom, the higher the word of God, which means as much as we feel free, as much as we have kind of a better tight, let's say, with God. The fact that religion does not have the tool of coercion, it means inevitably that there is no authority in it. There's some kind of pact in religion not to have any kind of coercion because it doesn't have any authority. So this is a fact. But there are two parallels, okay? They do not meet. Authority is a form of domination and oppression, and the state does not exist without authority that maintains its structures, unlike religion, completely. And the state authority must not interfere with persons' personal or ideological life. Its mission is limited to watching over the control of the society and not to send people to heaven or keep them away from hellfire. So they go kind of along in parallel, state and religion, that is, with different missions. And the thesis of reward and punishment is the prerogative of God alone. I mean, if this is to be implemented, it is not to me or you or any man or any person on earth or to execute or do so. It's God's, it's God's mission. If it's not mission, he doesn't have a mission, but it is God's things. It's God's job, whatever. Okay. Now, if we separate religion from politics, the question arises about verses 44, 45, and 47 in Surah 5 about whosoever governs not by what Allah has revealed. We say that the verses were cut out from their context because God was talking about the children of Israel not accepting the legislative rulings that came in the laws of Moses, which is culminated with the message of Muhammad that represents the universality of all aspects of humanitarian legislation. That is moving between two limits, obedience and disobedience, minimum and maximum. This is the message of Muhammad, is the middle of the road. Not so extreme, not so lean and soft. But the inherited jurisprudence in Islam made it look harsh with nothing to do with what Allah revealed. So we should note here that the forbidden is closed, eternal, and totalitarian. Only God decrees. Whatever is forbidden, I mean, you cannot forbid on earth. God can forbid because this is universal. But on earth, authority can prohibit. Okay, but the forbidden is something different than prohibit, which means you can, if you do, you have some authority, a law that you breach, and then you'll be punished probably right away. As with God, if ever you breach something which is not, let's say, so serious and essential, as if you didn't do anything. But if it's serious and essential, probably God will punish you in the life after. That is, if you are inclined to believe in all this. In fact, those forbidden things, in fact, all authorities, which means all states, all authorities, dictatorship, religious, secular, tyrannical, or non-tyrannical, respect these taboos. like don't kill. Everybody, everybody accepts it, and everybody is somehow forcing it. Don't kill, don't cheat, don't lie, don't. There are tribunals to hold people accountable for some kind of things like this. Even even the parliament around the world would never discuss this, and no parliament really voted on belief in God or the last day, or even in communist atheist countries in the time of the Soviet Union. No parliament conducted referendum in the matter of uh, honoring parents, prohibiting the killing of handicapped child, or public sex, or cheating in weight, breaching covenant, false testimony, incest, etc. These are kind of things that are taken like for granted and agreed upon, and everybody implement. I mean, everywhere in every country, it is implemented as the 10 Commandments. Even in the worst government systems, as for ritual and religious freedom, one should not mix with civic duty and working hours, respecting others, which means don't mix between this and that. Just make sure that you don't hurt no one, you don't interfere in the business of anyone by practicing your rituals and your religious uh, whatever freedom you call. As for Islamic Caliphate and Islamic State, this ideology of the concept of divine governance is a goal put forward by users and abusers of Islam to seize power. As for Muhammad's message, it is the task of human effort according to temporal changing and spatial circumstances, according to time and place. That is the message of Muhammad. You should find a solution for your things, because time change and things change with it. You cannot keep abiding by laws from 10 centuries ago and so on. This is really the message of Muhammad, or the Quran, actually, or Allah in that sense. Now, the revelation was sealed and stopped at this. And this is what the companions did. Actually, it was done like this, in the sense of in those times they follow what the message said. In our time now, we can follow, but not to the letter, not as if we lived in the 7th century. But we have to apply the text as if it's revealed today, according with the time and place. So anyway, though the companion, they really made mistake. They're human. What they achieve is not a constitution. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't have to follow to the letter. It's not constitution what they achieve. Whatever they said and they put down as rules, and this, we don't have to follow, because their time is different than ours. Same as fatwa of any scholar is no reference to consider, because it was made to measure to fit the rulers within a shepherd and parish relationship with individuals where individuals have no right and no homeland and citizenship value. So those fatwas and jurisprudence in general were made to measure to fit the ruler's desire, the ruler's intention, and they were ruling in a sense that uh, people are not considered like today with rights and human rights and citizenship and homeland here or homeland there, etc. In summary, Islam has no clash with secularism. Has no clash with secularism. People are equal, accounted for by their merit. And any term like Islam is the religion of the state carries a fallacy to control people's necks. This is an excuse to control people's neck. Better focus on the state of institution and laws like Trudeau's of Canada and Merkel of Germany. Thank you.